George Kilpatrick, Inspiration for the Nation. We're pleased to be joined by Rashida Caldwell. Rashida is been an activist in the community. She's got a new job, but she's also trying to represent the people in a different way, right? Rashida, from her advocacy around a tragedy, which we'll speak about in just a few moments, but she's also seeking to be one of the counselors at large, seeking the Democratic committee's nomination, which at the time of this conversation is an ongoing process. So Rashida, good morning. How you doing? Hope all is well. And I should say that before we turned on this camera, you were telling me that you were getting your praise on, and I appreciate that.
Yes, yes. Good morning, George. Good morning. Yes, I got my praise on this morning, giving God thanks and just getting some crying and tears out, just the glorious tears of just being faithful to Him.
Amen. So let's talk about. So let's catch people up. You have been really
Mhm.
active in trying to find the persons who took the life of your son, Rashid. Speak about that.
Yes, my son was murdered June 5th, 2017, in Syracuse, New York, and at that time, it sort of killed my spirit, right? And know Rashid, to know how amazing he was, how beautiful he was, how strong and his personality and just the presence of his strength, the faith he had for himself and for people, and he believed in people. He wanted to give back. It sort of killed my spirit inside, and it took me, some time with the help of my family, my daughter especially, to say, listen, this is an awful thing that happened to Rashid, but we can't give up because we have to change this narrative. We have to change the narrative for all. Couldn't bring my son back, but I could try to help out more. And I was already doing that. I was already working in the community. And I was already establishing different programs for the youth. I was a coach in the community. So I was already connected with the community. So when I lost my son, I was like, how dare you take my son away? Someone who had leadership skills, someone who wanted to do great things for people. So I took that, what happened to Rashid, and I made it a push for me, a push like no other, that I said I was going to continue to fight for the community, for our youth, and for anything else I could do in the community. But I realized at that point in time, we had some work to do because people were struggling. Because if anybody could take a gun and kill my son and then continue on year after year, and then in 2020, we had 31 homicides, we had some problems going on and people need some help. And I vowed to make sure that's happened. I believe that's my destiny, to make sure that I continue to support the community. Continue to act, be that leader and that voice and that connector, right? Sometimes people just need to have that person to connect them and grab them by their hand and say, listen, I got you. Let me show you the way. Don't give up. I know things are hard. Let me show you the way. And I vowed to make sure I continue to do that.
And so you created an organization called Let Me Be Great, which was to continue the legacy and do the very thing that you just described.
Yes, yes. Let Me Be Great is honor of all youth, all the kids in the community. And it is exactly what it says. Let me be great. When times are hard, let me be great. If I want to be that teacher, let me be great. If I want to be that doctor, let me be great. If I want to be that NFL player, let me be great. But help me to be great. So we have to own that. We have to actually preach that and talk that and instill that into our youth. But we also have to own that. So when I tell kids and I say, let me be great, I want you to walk with greatness. Even when
Mm.
times are hard, I want you to feel that you are great and continue to believe in that. And we have to instill those things. We have to instill positivity into our kids, but we also have to give them the resources so that they can be great. We have to allow them to see greatness and see opportunity. So that's one of the other things Let Me Be Great do. We instill opportunity. We allow them to be great by giving them opportunity. We're creating jobs, right? Creating opportunities they have never seen, putting them in places and putting them at tables that they have never had an opportunity to be at.
And that was also in honor of Rashid. So you have not, there has been no justice for your son.
No, no, no
They have
justice.
not, no one has come forward. No one has
Mm-mm.
uh, there's been no leads, pretty much. Uh, no leads that have led to any sort of arrest or anything in 2 to 3 years. How do you feel?
It's hurt. It hurts. It really does. But I have my faith,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I have God,
Yeah.
and I'm never going to give up. And I believe justice will come. I believe that and it's not that I believe, I know. I'm
Mm-hmm.
speaking it. I
Right.
know justice will come. But I must continue as I fight for Rashid and fight for everyone else who lost their life. I got to continue to fight for those who are alive so that they don't have to. They don't have to see that other side. No mother, no person should have to feel that pain,
Yeah.
right? So I have a job to have to continue to do. I have a mission I have to continue to do. I fight for my son every day. I pray, I walk, I talk about him, I talk about justice. And I know justice is going to come because of my faith.
Yeah. 31 homicides in 2020. So many. What's going on, do you think, in the community right now?
We're struggling.
Mm-hmm.
The whole world is struggling, but we're
Sure.
struggling. So yeah, we have to, build opportunities for the community. We have to instill positivity in the community, and that means we have to work together as a community. Until we come together as a whole and join and bond together, we're going to struggle. We have to look at each other and say, listen, let bygones be bygones, and let's build, let's work together. And those who are in position to make things better, they have to continue to support and make things better. That means coming out their box and saying, I'm going to help you, right? As I grow, it's my job to bring somebody with me to grow. It's my job to educate others, right? So we have to continue to work on each other. We have to continue to love each other. We have, I'm a big faith person. You have to have faith, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we also have to um, like work on our youth. I believe our youth is our whole piece. Like they're eventually, I look at our juniors and seniors, in 4 to 5 years, they're going to be the next leaders, right? They're going to go to
Sure.
college and
Mm-hmm.
come back, right? So what are we instilling in them? What are we bringing to them to let them know that, listen, things are get better? What are we doing in our community to making them want to come back to this community? Right. So it's the whole piece, building on that family and supporting each other.
Rashida, do you think that, I mean, obviously, there's no question the pandemic has exacerbated so many conditions, whether it's from COVID and whether COVID in terms of health conditions that are already prevalent within our community, and also, with the stress of people not having work. So we know
Hmm.
that those are some key factors, or the stress of having to educate your children at home and them not getting
Hmm.
the kind of instruction, or you not being able to help them to provide the instruction in terms of access. At the same time, even prior to that, I just have to name that I believe that there are a lot of resources in the community that are untapped, that are not even taken advantage of. That,
Yes.
I often hear us saying that, the young people don't have this, they don't have that. And I see programs looking for people to participate in them. So what
Mm.
do you think is the disconnect between what we think is available to young people, but and yet on what they actually take advantage of? Because the perception is, oh, there's not a lot to do, or there's not a lot of services, or not a lot of programs. And I keep hearing people, there's tutoring services, there's all kinds of programs. So I'm a little frustrated when I hear that, because I'm
Mm.
thinking, what's the disconnect between organizations offering programs and services and not having the people to fulfill or fill those slots? That's a long story to say, what's going on here?
Yes. What's going on? So it's very interesting you asked me that question because right now I'm so with my new position, that's what I'm doing. I'm researching what's going on in our community with
Tell us
youth
about your
and
new position.
development. So I currently work for the Allen Family Foundation, what amazing philanthropy, and they hired me to do a research on youth services to figure out what's out there, who's doing what, who's connecting to who, and who's missing out. And what I've been finding so far, honestly, is that there's opportunities, but it's the messenger, right?
Ah,
It's the
okay.
messenger,
Talk to
right?
me. All
So
right.
right? We forget that sometimes we have things that we think that kids should know, but how are we getting it to them? Right? I know you know, but how are we getting that to those kids that really need it? It's the messenger. So we have to do more than just putting it on book. We got to get to the kids, right? And then let the
Hmm.
kids
Hmm.
help do the messenger. Because if you get one and you do well with one, they're gonna spread the word, and you're gonna get two,
Hmm.
three, four, five. We also have to connect better together as youth services in the community. We have to build a relationship that, if you're doing educational and I'm doing something with health and wellness, that let's build together so that we're meeting more of a goal for our kids. Um, there's a lot of great opportunities that I'm seeing. There's a lot of missed opportunities, and there's a lot of opportunities that um, there's a lot of programs that are not getting opportunity because of lack of funding or just don't know how. We also have a lot of missed gaps in the community where where I'm seeing so far, right? And I have a lot of more organizations and grassroots programs to talk to that they're in different pockets of the community and not others, right? So the biggest thing that I'm realizing is the messenger. How are you getting
Yeah.
what you're doing out
Let
to
me
the kids?
let me just translate what I just heard you say. What I
Mhm.
heard you say is different pockets. In other words, everybody, if my program is on this side of town, then the youth
Yeah,
on that side of town don't feel. That's what I'm hearing you say. That's my
absolutely,
translation.
absolutely,
Okay. And
absolutely,
so how do we
absolutely.
create a space where all youth are feeling welcome from whatever side of town they are? Because even erasing those quote unquote turf issues is partly what community is needing. All right. So having said all of that, is this why you're running for council?
Absolute one of them. Absolutely, we have to change
All right,
that
so
narrative.
why are you running? We're talking with Rashida Caldwell. Why are you running for a candidate for Syracuse Common Councilor at large? So you want to represent the whole city. Why are you running for council at large?
I first of all, besides I believe it's my destiny, right? But I want to make it a better community for all, right? I want everyone to have opportunities, right? So that means youth have opportunities, adult have opportunities, and I have been a part of this community all my life. My family has been rooted here. I just did a post on Facebook last night and talk about, in the community, the Black community. Do you know your history? Do you know where you're from? We've
Right.
been here since the early 1800s,
Sure.
right? So understanding my background and understanding where I came from has helped me to lead to this way. And I've always, been a part of the community and reaching out. And I just think it's my time to be that support and also the messenger and deliver. I think that sometimes the message doesn't get to the community the way it needs to be, and the community needs to have a voice. I'm that person. I'm a mother. I'm that neighbor. I'm that coach. I'm that person that's going to be that connector, but I'm also a voice who can speak and talk about what the concerns are of the community and bring it back to the table. So when we're making legislation and when we're creating and the legislation is coming, that we're making sure that it fits everyone.
I can't help but think of the parallels between your story and Helen Hudson's story about how y'all came to the council.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. I love Madam Helen Hudson, President Helen Hudson. She is an inspiration to us all. She has paved the way for us all, and she's someone that I look to often just to have conversation with. I believe in any time you're in leadership, right? Because I'm in a leadership role, right? Some
Right.
people look at me as, Rashida, your leader, and I take that and I own that, right? But you also have to have someone that you look up to. And she is one of the people that I talk to. And there's several other people that are leaders that I talk to because you still need guidance as you walk this
Yeah.
path. You need guidance.
All right, if you were to be successful in getting the support of the community and elected ultimately
Mhm.
in this November's election, what would be your first few priorities for the community? Because obviously we got police community issues,
Mhm.
economic development issues, poverty issues, business development issues. What would you be advocating for if you were to be selected to represent the community?
Right. So one of the first things when I'm elected in November, right?
Oh, okay.
I
Just claiming that. I got you.
Yeah,
Okay.
oh yeah, I'm claiming it. I'm claiming what's supposed to happen. When I'm elected in November, I believe first is to go out to the communities to find out what's their need. Now I have three
Mhm,
things that I want to talk about when it comes to housing and economic, right? Safety and our youth. Those are my three things that
mhm,
I'm going to
mhm.
go and push hard about, right? I currently sit on several housing boards, so I'm really in vested interest of making sure our community has a better way, right? Our houses are better, people have opportunity to go into housing and equitable houses, something that
Mhm.
a nice neighborhood, right? And the youth, what they are our future, right? So
Yeah.
we have to build into that. We have to figure out what is missing, why our youth are not having opportunity, and why the community centers are not there, and why they don't have summer jobs. So pushing into that and building relationships to figure out how we can support that. And then safety has to happen in order for people to come back and our numbers to rise back in our community, right? We have to change that narrative. We can't allow people to think that Syracuse is so bad, because Syracuse is a great place. It is an amazing place. You know, we're under 150,000 people. We're like 140 something thousand people, right? And we have to continue to build that, right? We have to continue to build that for tax bases, and everything changes. But how do we do that? We have to change that narrative of safety, and also allow people to know that we're not going to allow this. We're not going to allow you to come into our community and do crime, right? But we also know we have issues. So let's work together to figure out, why are people doing crime? What's wrong, right? And build neighborhoods and build communities again how it once used to be. I want to see Syracuse back to 180,000 people at one time, right? And build our community, because we are surrounded around greatness. We are
Mhm.
great. We
Yeah.
just have to walk it, talk it, and make it happen.
One thing I do know, whether you're elected or not, you're going to keep fighting. I mean, I could see that. I know that our audience listening knows that you have that spirit. You're passionate and about these issues, and I know that whether you're elected or not, I know you're claiming that victory. You're going to still work for the community.
That's right. Not going anywhere. I'm going to be here because that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to be a voice. I'm going to be a support. And I'm going to continue to connect people to opportunities, because that's what people need. I'm going to continue to hold hands and say, it's okay. Let me show you. Let me bring you. Let me help advocate for you. Let me help support you. And that what I will continue to do through my journey in life.
And with your work with the Allen Foundation, how can
Mhm.
people who are hearing you support that work so that you can get the information you need around youth services in the community?
Yes, so you can email me at rcaldwell at, excuse me, well, I prefer, if you email me, I prefer you to call me first, because I'm one of those people. I'm straightforward. I want to talk to you. So you can email me, but you can also call me. So you could call me at 315-863-7753. And that's my phone. And you can reach out to me if you're doing anything with youth services in the community, or any programs that you have going on and you just want to talk, call me first. Let's have this conversation, and then we can go forward from there.
All right, 315-863-7753. That's her number, for real, for real. So she
That's my
just put it
number,
out.
for real, for real.
That's her number.
Yes,
Give
yes,
her a
yes.
call, and she will get back to you. And let's have a conversation. Let's have a conversation. We just did
Let's
that.
have a conversation. Let's talk.
Let's
Let's
talk
talk.
about it. Let's talk
Hmm.
about it. Rashida Caldwell, good luck to you in your endeavors and your fight and passion for the community. And we also hope and pray that you will have justice for your son, Rashid.
Thank you. And if I just want to say though, if you do want to email me, because I some people are not talkative people, I will give you my email. It's rcaldwell@allenfoundation.org. Again, it's rcaldwell@allenfoundation.org. But give me a call. Let's talk. I love to have that dialogue, and I want to know your concerns. And I want to know what you're doing out here in the community, whether it's for Allen Foundation with the youth services, or it's just you want to talk to me about your concerns in the community. I'm here. Let's connect.
And Allen is spelled Allyn. R.
Yes,
Caldwell at
absolutely.
allenfoundation.org. Rashida Caldwell, good luck to you.
Thank you. Thank you, George. Have a blessed day.
Inspiration for the nation.